So you hit a point where it doesn't just feel like things are going wrong. It feels like everything was gone. You know what I mean? Not just stress, not just frustration, but that deep, hollow kind of loss where you look around and you don't recognize your life anymore. Like someone packed up everything familiar while you weren't looking. And now you're standing in the middle of that aftermath and you're thinking to yourself, how did I get here? Where do I even start? And is there anything left to even start with? Maybe it was a person. Maybe it was a dream. Maybe it was stability or identity or the future you that you were so sure about. Maybe it wasn't even just one moment, but it was a slow undoing, a quiet kind of collapse. And one day you just realized you were living in the aftershock. And the scariest part wasn't the loss itself. It was the feeling that it lost you in the process. Because grief doesn't just empty rooms. It empties direction. It empties confidence. It empties the voice in your head that used to say, I can handle this. You start waking up, staring at the ceiling, thinking, is this really my life now? Is this where the story stops? But trust when I tell you that you didn't hit the end. You hit a place that feels like the end, because maybe it's kind of blank. But it's just a part of your life that you haven't started writing yet. Because right now you're standing in the space between chapters. You think the book is over, when it's really that just a page is empty. And empty doesn't mean finished. Empty means there's room, so much room. So even though it doesn't feel like opportunity, maybe it feels more like defeat or more like absence. Like you're walking around carrying something invisible and heavy that no one sees but you. But when everything falls apart, there's a moment, a terrifying even moment, where you finally see what's actually left. Not the obvious stuff, not the plans that you had or the people you thought would stay or the structures, but the things pain can't steal. The flicker of you that says you don't quite want to be done yet, no matter how small it is. The whisper that asks, what if there's something more? That tiny, stubborn spark that refuses to die, even though life gave it every reason not to. That's hope. It's not loud, shiny, beautifully looking. It's kind of quieter. It's hope that barely speaks above a breath. It's hope that sounds like, I don't know how, but maybe. And that's enough. Because you don't rebuild your life by suddenly being fearless. You rebuild your life by doing the smallest human thing available when fear has taken the wheel. By getting up, by drinking water, by going outside, by letting sunlight hit your face just for a minute. By doing things, anything that helps you a little more, like answering a text, starting an assignment, choosing one motion forward, even if you have no clue where it lands. And that might feel small because it is small. But transformation has never cared about the size of the step, only the repetition of it. Because hope isn't necessarily a feeling. Hope is a decision you make without proof. Hope is choosing to move even when you're not sure where you're going. Hope is saying you're not done yet, when literally nothing in your life can back it up. Because rock bottom is a weird place. It doesn't just hurt you, it exposes. It shows you what was supporting you and what people weren't. What was built on truth and what was built on applause. And for the first time, you see the foundation of yourself without decoration. The raw version, the unedited version. The this is me when nothing is working version. So of course it's uncomfortable. Of course you're not sure where you're gonna go, but it's real. And real is exactly what you need, even if it doesn't feel like what you need. Because maybe the life that fell apart wasn't the life that you were supposed to finish. Maybe it pushed you in a new direction, and that always feels wrong because you always have a plan of exactly what you want to do. You always have a plan of the direction that you should be headed. But if it falls apart, if you lose that person, it might be for the best. You know, the first 10 years of my life, basically, like between the age I picked up a golf club at 7 years old to college, always had it in me. I was going to be a pro golfer. I was going to give it 100% no matter what. And then things fell apart. I got very unlucky. I went Division I, and then I got kicked out for no reason. And you don't really notice when it's happening that it's the wrong thing, that's the right thing for you. Because I thought my life was over. I really did. And then eventually I started picking up social media, making content. And my life is as good as it could get. I would have never guessed that from where I was. So you just have to sometimes trust that when you're in this space and people just assume that you're just going through it, they might not realize that you're changing into someone new. You might not as well. And that's the unseen part about becoming. It's like a cocoon or a vision. You demolish yourself before you rebuild yourself. And of course it can feel lonely, because transformation isolates you before it introduces you to your next life. You don't just see the finish line. You just vaguely feel pulled forward, like there's something in you that knows that there's more. And of course you want to have proof of that. You might not be able to explain it. You might not be sure where you're headed, but you'll feel that pull toward of that little bit of you knowing you want more in life. That life isn't done. Because the people who keep living lives that they actually love, they don't just do it because they always believe. They do it because they refuse to stop, even when they're not sure where they're going. They walked in fog. They rebuilt without instructions. And they practiced hope, not the feeling, but the trust in themselves before it made sense to you. They didn't rise because life rewarded them early. They rose because they kept going when nothing rewarded them at all. So you don't need to feel ready. You don't need to see the path. You don't need all the confidence. You just need a pulse of defiance. A whisper in your heart saying, not like this. Not giving up. It's powerful. It's rare because a lot of people do, especially when they've had everything torn from them, especially when they're at rock bottom. Because most people don't actually get defeated by obstacles. They get defeated by the belief that the obstacle is the ending. But you're still here, torn down, maybe at rock bottom, probably confused, but you're still breathing. You're still watching this. You're leaning forward mentally instead of checking out. And that means that you've already chosen the first brick of rebuilding. You chose that you might not know how to fix this, but you refuse to end here. And that's the most important choice you'll ever make at rock bottom. Because one day, it will blindside you. Because the shift won't announce itself. You'll just realize that the pain got quieter. Might not be gone for a while, but it'll get quieter. You'll realize that you don't just heal by leaping forward, but you heal by surviving long enough through the rock bottom, to find strength to grow around the wound. You'll look back at this exact version of you, the tired, exhausted, unsure version, and you won't actually cringe at yourself. Because that version kept going with empty hands. Sometimes you won't be sure which direction you go, but I could go that way, but I choose this one. Just because you have to trust yourself. You have to trust that you will step forward in the direction that's right for you. And if you don't, you take a step back and you keep going forward. That is the story. That is the first chapter of somebody getting off the floor and eventually standing taller than the thing that tried to end them. So here you are, the in-between, the intermission, the rebuild, the era that makes no sense in real time, but becomes legendary in hindsight. So don't rush to try to make sense. Just sit with it and accept that this is where you are, and every step forward, every day you stay is good. It's beautiful because your story isn't over. Not even close. The story hasn't even revealed the plot twist yet. And you're not ruined. You're not lost. You're just rebuilding. That emptiness is not empty. It's clearing space. And clearing space only hurts when you don't know what's coming to fill it in. So hold on. Just stubbornly and presently. Hold on. Because hope doesn't need more than that. Hope just needs you to not close the book while the next line is still loading. And trust me, it's loading.